Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to another sports card episode. I am your host, Tim, and today I wanted to go over some Starstock purchases that I made way back in the month of March. It seems like a long time ago, and I wanted to go over how those cards have performed since that time. If you did get a chance to watch my episode with Emil Sarfani, you know that we talked about buying raw to grade, and that's one of the main strategies that I had been using going back to February, the peak of the market. So we're going to go ahead and look at some purchases that I made prior to the month of March, and I was able to get these off to PSA through Starstock. I was able to submit them to PSA at the beginning of March, and I wanted to see how they've performed, even though I don't have them back yet. Want to see what their PSA 10, PSA 9 values are looking like, and overall what kind of profit, what kind of percentage I'm looking at. And I wanted to get also into more of my strategy for investing and why I decided to go this route. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of cards, and then at the end I'm going to talk about why I decided to go this route, what I was thinking in terms of investing, in terms of my return on investment, in terms of just general investing, comparing it to maybe investing in a mutual fund, maybe investing in possibly other alternative assets, because those types of things were going through my mind when I made these purchases. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is actually one of my bigger months as far as actual dollar amount of purchases. I never, to be honest with you, I never thought I would spend this much money on sports cards. Probably didn't want to admit it to anyone, especially not on YouTube, to everyone out there. I do feel better about it though. I will say that now, looking back, at the time I thought it was a great investment, and then as we all know, the market had a major correction, and as card prices started to plummet, I started to worry, oh no, was this maybe not the best use of my money? But I will say this, it was a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing this, and that's why I do it. I would much rather do this than invest in stocks, invest in crypto, which I don't know anything about, invest in art, which I really don't know anything about. So I would say that if you don't know anything about sports cards at all, and you probably aren't watching this if you don't do it. You know, do what you like, do what's fun. Why not? And I believe that's what's driving part of the market. What's driving it up and maybe having this renewed interest is people are having fun actually investing in their favorite players, watching them play live or watching them on TV. The fact that many of these players are still playing today makes it pretty exciting. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I just wanted to go over a couple. This spreadsheet is huge, so I don't want to go over every single card. I just wanted to highlight some of the key players that I invested in and how they're doing, what I paid for them and how they're doing today. So the first one that we're looking at is Brandon Ingram. This is his base Prism, and I bought this card raw. I paid a pretty penny for it. I actually paid $100 on Starstock, and I paid $30 to get it graded. So this cost column includes the cost of the card as well as the cost of grading. So every price on here is going to be increased by exactly $30, which was the cost of grading to submit to PSA. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and maybe just delete this column. That was an old column, and these were old columns as well. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Let's go ahead and bring that back. Overall, in total, I just want to show you that I actually calculated the Starstock value back in March, and I calculated the potential profit back in March. So when I first bought these cards, I was pretty excited. But you'll see at the end that this was still a good investment. And one of the things that I focus on is buying players with a track record. I talk about that in my interview with Slap Talk, in the Slap Talk interview as well. Brandon Ingram is an emerging star. He was the most improved player 2 years ago. He actually had a better season this past year than he did the year before when he won that award. I believe he's on the rise. And whatever happens, it looks like he's staying in New Orleans. So whatever happens with the Pelicans, that could affect his card prices. If they stay kind of a bottom tier team in the West, maybe his card prices don't do much, and maybe I decide to move the card. But I don't really see his card prices going down any further. You'll see that his PSA 10 has gone down to $150. At one point, this was a $700 card. So I believe that 700 was probably too high, but I believe 150 is too low. So I think the where his card will settle will be somewhere probably closer to 150, maybe not as high as 700, but I believe that it could get back up to $250, no problem. Even at the low 150 price, his PSA 10 for $41, that is unbelievably low. We still have a Starstock value of 112. I'm not sure why it's calculating 94 cents, but we'll just round up $113. And I have a little bit of a loss. It's a 13% loss, $17 of real actual dollar loss. That's not bad considering that I way overpaid for his raw card. As you can see here, I paid $100 for that card. Had I bought the PSA 10, and I go over this in another video, I could have paid easily $600 to $700. The card would be worth $150 right now, and I would be down hundreds of dollars as opposed to just a $17 loss. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go with this strategy. The other big card, and this is another loser, is Deshawn Watson. Now, I'm not saying Deshawn Watson's a loser, but that's up to the general public to decide. But as far as the card was concerned, I did lose on this one because I way overpaid $500 for this card, and currently his PSA 10 goes for $480. So I can buy the PSA 10, already graded PSA 10 card for less than what I paid for the raw card. That's a swing and a miss. Unfortunately, those things happen. Obviously, if we had a crystal ball, we could have predicted that, but that's what it was. I'll tell you, one of the reasons I did buy this card is because it was the only one on Starstock, and that's one thing that I do is I go after cards that are higher end and they're really not as readily available on Starstock. Typically, I can get those at a discounted price from what I would on eBay. At the time, $500 for a raw card where there's a good chance that it'll come back a PSA 10 was a decent play in my mind. The PSA 10 at that time, back in March 1st, was well over $1,000. So I thought it was a good buy. Unfortunately, these things don't always work out. And that's probably one of my bigger losses that you'll see, $157 real loss, 30% actual ROI loss. So those are the two bigger purchases I wanted to point out. I also overpaid for this Domantas Sabonis. I bought quite a few of these. You'll see that a reason that I bought these is I believe that they were a little bit undervalued at the time, and even now more so. They're also low pop. So those are the two reasons. And I watched him play. The guy's a beast. If you look at his numbers, he puts up points, rebounds, and assists. He can do all three. So the Pacers have a new coach. It looks like they're trying to work, build up the team, or at least improve from last year. Last year was kind of a bust for many reasons, and I believe that there is still a lot of promise for Domantas Sabonis. In any case, I still overpaid for this card. I paid $90 plus the $30 grading, and the total loss was $20. So not bad considering I overpaid for his base raw card. And so far, that's what we're finding out, is that even though I overpaid for these raw cards, my losses are minimal because I didn't buy the already graded PSA 10 card. I bought two of these Donovan Mitchell Optic rookies. Donovan Mitchell, great player. I don't really see why his card went down as much as it did, but it did. Anyway, even with that, you can see here that the PSA 10 of the Optic is at 117. I actually paid 112. So right now I could buy the PSA 10 for almost as much as I paid for this card plus the grading fee. With that, I still only lose $20. Again, not bad. Now here was my big purchase, which is, this is a really difficult card to tell whether or not I lost money or I made money. This is a James Harden rookie. I paid $850 for it, paid $30 to get it graded. Currently, the PSA 10 price, I can't figure this out. I saw that there was a sale for less than $3,500, but I don't know if that was a real sale. It's not tracked in Market Movers. The last sale in Market Movers is at $7,000, but you can go on eBay and buy a card, buy it now, right now, for $5,000. So what I did is I put here $3,500 as the PSA 10. I figure that's pretty conservative. His PSA 9 has dropped dramatically to just over $400. Even at those two prices, I still made out. I still made a close to $100 profit on the James Harden. Once this card comes back graded, it's possible that I'll make $100. Now keep in mind, there's a very high chance that I'm going to get a PSA 9 on this Harden. In that case, it's only worth $400 and I lost. But there is a chance that I get a PSA 10. So that's what we're factoring in here, is that chance. And it's a little bit like gambling. It's a little bit exciting for me. I'm excited to get these cards back because I kind of want to know what 10s did I get back. That's what I'm excited about. And hopefully this James Harden is one of those 10s. Here, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, I highlighted those in green. Just kind of wanted to show you that I purchased their cards, and you can see here, there were some losses, mostly on these Jaylen Brown concourse cards. I way overpaid for these, and you can see here 140, 130, 105. That was way too much to pay for Jaylen Brown raw select concourse. But again, low pop, low print run year. Jaylen Brown is an emerging star. I'm not too worried about it. I'm showing, big losses in terms of percentage, 46, 42, 28. Real dollars, 64, 54, 29. But it's not that bad. Had I bought the PSA 10 at the peak price, I would have lost hundreds of dollars as opposed to just 50, 60 bucks. So that's all I wanted to point out there. Just kind of scroll down here. Here's what saved me on this submission. Julius Randle, and I've talked over and over about Julius Randle. I honestly cannot believe that his cards are going down yet again. I feel like people sleep on him over and over. He's in New York, media capital of the world, big market. Fans love him. If you watched any of the Knicks games, you'll see they were chanting MVP game after game. I think the narrative is that he had a bad playoffs. He actually averaged a double-double over the 4 or 5 games, and I think he was I believe in one article it was pointed out that he was one of the few Knicks players to ever do that in the team history. So he didn't have that as bad of a playoffs as people may remember, and he also had a great regular season. He was the most improved player, and he's coming back for another year in New York, the media capital of the world. I don't know what people are thinking. That's okay. I'm still buying Julius Randle. But these cards, I did get at a low price, and it's one of the reasons why I made out in terms of the Starstock A value. You can see here, I actually bought this concourse for $11 on eBay, $11.85. I bought his premier level, same price. Paid $30 to get it graded. Now, what I did is I submitted it to Starstock. It got a Starstock A, and then I was able to grade it, send it off to PSA. Currently, both of these cards, their PSA 10 values are $300. That may be overstated. One of the reasons I don't know is because they're low pop. So try going on eBay and try finding this card. Try finding it for $300, or try finding it for $400 or $200. You can't find it at all. They're very difficult to find. They're very low pop cards. Even finding nice raw cards might be difficult at this point. You could see my ROI is 407% on both of those cards. When you find a steal like that, I got those very early in the season, and I just lucked out. I made the right pick. I also got his silver concourse, which is a more rare version of that select card. And I kind of have to estimate these PSA 10 values because they're just not readily available on eBay. And I think this is pretty conservative, $450, $150 for the PSA 10, PSA 9. Again, I'm showing here a $200 profit, 186%. You get the picture here. I bought up all of the Prism base Julius Randles on Starstock. Whatever was there, I bought it up. I'm going to go over in another video how I buy. I don't just buy at the price that's listed. There's kind of an art to it. Basically what I do is I put a lower offer and see if they bite. And if they don't bite, I might raise the offer and see if they bite there, and so on and so forth. I was able to get these cards at a very nice price, though. You can see here, this is probably the most expensive one. I paid $62, and then these $75, $70. These include the $30 grading fee, so you basically subtract $30 here, and I don't show it here, but probably $45, $40, even less, $38, $32. I was getting them at unbelievably cheap prices. Their last PSA 10 sales, $295. It might be a little bit lower than that. I don't know, again, because it's low pop, not many sales on eBay. However, I'm going to go with the most recent eBay comps as my estimates. And you can see I'm up on all the Julius Randles. I'm up percentage-wise, 407, 138, 200, 250, 394, and I'm up real dollars as well. The big one here is the Select Courtside Silver. Honestly, I have no idea what the market value of this card is. I believe 740 is might have been the last sale on eBay, and I might just be using that as an estimate. Also bought some Justin Herberts, 4 of the same Justin Herberts Donruss base cards. Overpaid for these cards. You can now pick up these cards for less than $50 on Starstock. I paid 70 and looks like 70 and 75. So I was paying a pretty good amount for base Justin Herbert Donruss. I'm a believer in Justin Herbert. And his PSA 10 value has gone down as well as his PSA 9, but I'm still showing a decent little profit on that. So even though I bought the raw at too high, I'm still showing a profit once I get it back from PSA. Down on Mookie Betts as expected. Jokic, this Donruss Jokic, I paid $100 for it. Still a good deal at this point. If you could get it for that price, I'm showing a $100 profit on that. And Zach LaVine is down. I don't know why Zach LaVine is down. He is in the same rookie class as Julius Randle, same low print run, low pop on his PSA 10, PSA 9 cards. I think people are sleeping on him. I think that's a great buy. And you could see where my focus has been. It's been on those low print run years. I have Joel Embiid on this list, Jimmy Butler, Julius Randle, even Mookie Betts is 2014, which is also a lower print run year for baseball. I don't really go after the newer, modern, ultra-modern players, for one, because they don't have as long of a track record, and then secondly, they have a much higher print run. So it just works out that guys who are emerging into the peak of their careers happen to have rookie years where there were low print runs. It's really a nice combination. As I got back into the hobby, I realized that anyone who's getting in new can really take advantage of that. I think people still don't quite understand that there are significantly lower print runs in earlier years, 2012, 2014, all the way through 2016, compared to 2019, 2020. I think that's going to make a difference, especially when the 10 million card backlog comes back from PSA. That's all I wanted to cover today. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to go over my March submission through Starstock. I've had some requests for more Starstock videos, so I wanted to go over this. In future videos, I'm going to go over actual purchases that I made on Starstock, so you can see what I'm buying and selling, maybe daily. I don't know how in detail I want to go into that, but I do want to show what I'm buying, what I'm selling, and kind of how I move in and out of certain cards. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.